Hello, this is Aaron with Fix All Cell. Today we're going to be putting together a Galaxy light. We've already taken it apart and made a video of it, but the video got destroyed, so we'll be making another video. But here's how to reassemble it, so we can kind of show you half the job here. But here's all the parts that we have. I set them aside in a left to right fashion. So when we put everything together, we're going to go part to part. Actually, this needs to go over here. But this just makes it really simple. It's a good technique to use. When you take phones apart, go right to left, take them apart, and then put them together right to left. And that way everything stays organized and it's easy. So, alright, we'll go ahead and get started here. This is the screen. What we're doing is a Digitizer replacement on the Galaxy light. Here's what the part looks like. This little connector is going to go inside here, and we'll get to that. But the first thing you want to do is you want to use some sort of adhesive. I use this little double-sided sticky tape. I get this over on eBay. It's for a few bucks. We're going to take and we're going to create a border around the edges here. Then we're going to put extra adhesive in here. So this is going to help hold the screen in place. Really important though to do a border, because that'll help keep dust from getting inside the screen. Get a little piece here. But now I'm just kind of lining it up, as you can see, cutting it. I'm going to set this here. This stuff might be, I think this tape might be too big for those sides, so I'm going to do the top and bottom with this tape. So, lining it up. Got some extra here, just cut it off and save that for something else. I'll put that up here. Now, doing the top part, I want to make sure not to put anything over the, my camera hole here, or these different sensors, because that's not going to cause the phone to work. So be very careful, don't cover that stuff up. So, yeah, just putting some sticky tape around here, getting this, hold that screen down nice and tight. Now I'm close to the camera, so I'm cutting around there. And looks like I got a little bit in that proximity sensor, but I'm just checking to make sure that this is your proximity sensor area. And any type of coverage can cause the phone to not light up properly or shut down. Basically, when you make a phone call, the proximity sensor is what causes the phone to darken when you put it next to your ear. And if you have stuff, it senses light basically. If you have stuff covering it, it won't work right, and you could be pushing buttons or stuff when you're trying to talk to people, because your ear could be doing that. So we want to be very careful with that. So now I'm just doing the bottom part and getting that set up. These are the your back button and probably your I forget what the other button is, but those are those buttons on the bottom, and these light up, so you don't want to cover that, because then those buttons will be dark. So I'm just doing right around the edge of them. And I'm going to go ahead and pause it for a second, because we're going to put this tape here, but I need to get smaller tape, so we'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. We're filming this from a different angle. Hopefully you guys can get a good picture of what we're doing. But I grabbed some skinnier tape I had. I'm going to do these sides here. So same concept. Just line it up and cut it. Now here's where we're trying to create that border, so I want to make sure this overlaps. So this will limit dust getting inside the phone. See how that overlaps right there? So making sure that overlaps that. Then doing the other side. What's nice about this phone too is it has a good bezel, has a high bezel, so the LCD will probably sit in there very well. It won't be sticking up. And you also have some room to play with you know, getting the tape overlapping. Some phones you put the tape in there and you put too much tape and that side will start to rise, so or lift. So it can be kind of tricky. But yeah, it's just, that's how it goes. So now I'm going to clean my screen a little bit here. Just make sure it's looking good. Because once we have that in there sealed, then you want to have a big old fingerprint. So definitely check to make sure there's no fingerprints. And if there is, everything's nice and clean. Okay. So the next step is I'm taking all this tape off here, the top part of the tape. Sometimes it's tricky, but so now we're getting this all to get exposed. I'm going to go ahead and pause it, but basically I'm going to take all this tape off here. I don't want to make this video 40 minutes or whatnot, but we'll be right back when all the tape's off. Okay, we got all the tape off of there, and when I was taking off, I got a couple little fingerprints on it, so again I'm going to wipe it. I recommend when you do this, have some sort of a light source so you can easily see any kind of defects in your LCD. What's nice when you have a bright light source is you'll see defects that won't normally show up when you have it all put together. So you can clean it the best you can, and usually you'll get it so clean that everything will be perfect afterwards. So that's why you want to have a good light source. So you have a dark light source, and it's, you know, you can miss stuff, and then you put the phone together, put it in light, and you're like, oh, there's a big old fingerprint, I just missed it. So you got a couple little things there. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to put the digitizer in place. This cable is going to go in that slot there. That's going to slide down. Just look at this for a sec. It's always good to see how things are going to go. So yeah, so I'm kind of just looking to see how it's going to piece together. Kind of help give me a good reference. That's going to go down. That's right, I remember now. This actually is going to slide down into this little slot here. And that attaches to the back of the LCD. So, there we go. So I'm peeling off the back. Sometimes there's two pieces of tape on the back, so you want to double check that. I'm peeling off the front too. You don't have to, but I like to do that so I can make sure that I didn't miss something. Because sometimes there's an extra, you know, plastic here. And if you forget to peel that off, you put it together and you're like, oh, there's plastic in there. So. But now I'm sliding this in here, just like so, and then I'm going to kind of just line it up, and hopefully this will just fit right into place, which I think it is. Yeah, it's going in there very nicely, thanks to that high bezel. So, and now I'm going to push this down into there. So this has a little hook that comes up, if you can see that. And this has some tape on it, so I'm peeling that tape off, or plastic there. And now I'm going to set this down and get that to line up in there. I'll be very gentle because that little black flip thing can break. And it'll be very difficult to get that to stay down. So I'm kind of just gently trying to push that into place. You want to treat this like surgery. You're a surgeon working on a phone. You always want to be very careful. Try not to make any, don't get rough with it. Sometimes it can be, if you get frustrated, take a break and walk away, because you can start making mistakes and things can get expensive. So looks like we got it there. Okay, so just finishing up here, it closes down. Okay. Alright, so that's good to go. Now we're going to put the logic board back on. And we've got this guy here. Yeah, this actually is going to go on next, I believe. Yep. And then the logic board, so we put this piece back on. The logic board goes, oh, okay. This is going to connect to the logic board just like that. This is for your LCD. It's a pop connector. You kind of just gently feel it. You'll feel it click. They're kind of pushed into place. And I'm using this to lift this up. Pushing this down into place. There we go. Make sure all that stuff is in there nice and snug. Looks like we got it correctly. Next step is to click this back into place. This is held on by clips, so I usually just have to just push it. Now I usually just go right where it needs to go. Never force it, always be gentle with it. If it doesn't go, stop and see what's going on. And this one, the top's being a little stubborn, so I'm stopping and seeing if I got something stuck in there. There could be something on the back of that, because yep, there is. So I see my screws got stuck in there. See, that's why you always want to never force stuff, and that's why it was being stubborn. So we're taking those screws out. Okay. Because this has a magnet on it, and we probably had some screws on our desk, and it pushed them over. Or maybe, oh, this had the magnet on it, so those might have got moved over. So now we'll put this together, and it should snap right in. Should hear it kind of click. Yeah, see, that's going in much better now. And we're good to go. So I'm going to test it out. There's a total of 6 screws here, or 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Total of 9 screws that you just screw back into place. And let's just see how this comes out. Let's turn it on. Looking good. Just going to make sure the touch works on it, so we know we have that digitizer connected correctly. Yeah, looks like we're good. One way you can test the digi is you take the top menu button and you just kind of slide it and see how it responds. Make sure it works everywhere. That's it. So yeah, the next step is just finish putting those screws in and put it together. And there you guys go. That's how you reassemble a Samsung Galaxy Light. Thanks for watching.